Greetings. Today on Catholica I'd like to introduce you to Father Eugene Stockton. Father Eugene is retired now, but he's famous for his involvement with archaeology and particularly with the indigenous people of Australia, and he worked in Aboriginal ministry here in the Parramatta Diocese for a lengthy period of time. He lives a couple of villages further up in the Blue Mountains than ourselves, and last week he's just recovered from a hip operation, and last week I had him down here to record the soundtrack for the documentary that we're putting together and which I hope to publish in a couple of weeks' time. While he was here, I decided to do a couple of short interviews with him as a prelude to that. The focus of our work, we're actually engaged in a number of projects up here in the Blue Mountains at the moment, but the main one at the moment focuses on this book he's recently published called The Deep Within, Towards an Archetypal Theology. And I think it's going to generate a lot of interest, and I'd like him to explore and open that up over the coming weeks. In this first interview, we got talking about mysticism, and I asked him, I couldn't remember the quote from Karl Rahner, and here he is, he gives it better than I can remember it.
A Christian will be a mystic or nothing at all.
The first question I asked him is, do you see religious people as becoming more mystical in their way of thinking and communicating?
I think so. When Rahner made that statement, he made it in the context of a general thing. He's pointing out that how the Christian culture, especially of Europe, was passing, a culture that used to support people in their religion, that helped people to pursue their own dreaming, if you like to put it that way, that was coming apart, and we no longer could look for support from other churchgoers or the big, great monuments of our religion and so on, that we really have to provide our own strength, our own support for any kind of union with God. And this could even be a very hopeful thing, to pass from a mass of Christians who were Christians because they were supported by a culture to Christians who are now had to make their own immediate contact with God through mysticism. That in fact could be a very good thing.
What's your feeling about what's happening in a nation like Australia? We recently had the government census. It's showing a significant increase in the number of people classifying themselves as not belonging to any religion. There's still a very high proportion of people who call themselves Christian and other religions, but they're not necessarily practicing. Where do you see Australia heading as a spiritual nation?
Just a few miles from here, there's a rock engraving on the Woodford Trail of a concentric circle. It's a very ancient engraving, and that symbolism of the concentric circle is the most sacred in Aboriginal iconography. And it's always been a bit of a vision for me that you could represent the church like a concentric circle. In the centre, the hardcore, there you have Jesus Christ and those who want to be close to him. It's like a campfire in which the wood is burning, and then around that you have a circle of people who are enjoying the warmth of that fire, and further out people who can see the light of the fire. So around this fiery core you have concentric circles of people. And I think it's a great symbol of the concept from the Vatican Council of the sacrament of unity. The Church is a sacrament of unity. At its very centre is a hot, fiery core, which is the life of Jesus and those who are closest to him. And then people who are a bit further out, a bit further out, a bit further out. Now, the logic of that concentric circle is that everyone in our society is somehow affected by that fiery core. It's like people camping in the bush at night, and there are some people who are up close to the fire, other people further out, further out and further out. And for some people, all they can see is the dim light of the fire. But everyone is affected. And I see society as being affected by the hot core of that concentric circle.